Welcome to the Brandtelling Podcast, where we share secrets, systems, and strategies you can use to unleash the power of story to build and grow your brand. The Brandtelling Podcast is brought to you by the team at Brandtelling, a B2B brand storytelling agency. Now, please welcome your host, principal, and chief brand teller, Arthur Germain.
Many brands are challenged to concisely and consistently tell prospects and potential referral partners exactly what it is that they do and why clients come to them in the first place. This is often why businesses default to simple explanations that may be easy to understand, but they don't share anything about what makes them unique. If you serve a specific niche, one that most people don't really understand, this can often be a fatal brand mistake. I call this the pitfall of default. You default to some safe space, but now you're part of the herd. For example, lawyers, accountants, and managed service providers will almost always tell people that they are lawyers, accountants, and managed service providers, or MSPs, without offering anything interesting or memorable about what they do. Instead, look for what I call the pinnacle of design, where you design the category that you want to own, and you go there to attract clients like a magnet. Like Asaf, who was a little bit confused about his own brand until he discovered his true identity, the brand chef. It didn't come with a cape, but he has a cool hat. So this is Arthur Germain. I'm your host for the Brandtelling Podcast. With me is my co-host, Asaf Bochman.
Hello, hello.
And our guest on today's podcast is Mitch Brendle, founder and president of Integrity Expediting. He bails new homeowners out of all sorts of trouble by obtaining required building permits, certificates of occupancy or COs, and licenses, all the things they need to remain in compliance with very particular city ordinances. Mitch, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Mitch, can you briefly describe, what your company does and who you serve?
Sure. So I like to put it this way. We are problem solvers and solution developers.
Better to be that problem solver than the problem creator. That would be
absolutely
what the customer's coming to you for.
Better customers.
We our best customer is a problem creator.
Yeah.
So we help solve problems. And sometimes, I'll say this. Sometimes they're not self-created. Honestly, a lot of times they're not self-created because there's really four main people that we can help and we serve. And those are individuals who are approaching a real estate transaction, whether they're buying a house or selling a house, or they're maybe a broker who's flipping, renovating, and serving their clients in that real estate transaction, or a homeowner who has experienced town violations. Maybe they're building without a permit, or they're renting out an apartment in their house without the proper licenses, or the homeowner who wants to make improvements, add to their house, do a dormer, a deck, pool, any kind of addition. And then the fourth person is the hardest ones we deal with in terms of how it feels, but these are catastrophe events, fires, floods. In order to repair those things, permits need to be filed and pulled from the town in order to resolve those issues.
It sounds like what you do and what you've just described is something that every homeowner at some time or another in the life of ownership, from buying a home to improving a home to renting a home to selling their home, they're going to run into this. I myself have run into, do you have a CO for that with my own local entity? And so I think everybody understands that. So in a sense, everybody knows what you do, right? Except, what's an expediter? If you're at the cocktail party question, hey, Mitch, what do you do? I'm an expediter. It sounds like Ray Donovan, like he's a fixer. You don't want that kind of fixer to be helping you, right? But what's the thing, or the story that you want your brand to tell people, and why that one? What's that story?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, it could be very simple for us to say, hey, we're building permit specialists. We process building permits, right? When it boils down to the actual work that we're doing, sure, that's it. But why did I say before problem solvers and solution developers is because we're specifically looking to do three main things. I want to inform people of what the process could look like and what the codes are. And then I want to educate them on why this stuff exists. Why do we have to go through these processes? Why do I need to pay all this money and go through these steps? And what should I expect? That's the last thing, managing expectations so people understand start to finish what they may be getting themselves into with an improvement or what they may be getting themselves into with buying a house that has an open expired permit on it. And giving them that full picture, having been through the process so many times, we are educators really at our core. I'm helping people understand what the importance is of, number one, life and safety in their home, which is why the building codes exist, but also what this whole process could entail as far as legalizing a structure or adding to their home.
Yeah, I think that idea of inform and educate, it's something that like we all aspire to. Asaf and I, focus on, we aspire to inform and educate companies about, ways that they can establish, strengthen, and promote their brand.
Right.
For me, I use, and it's interesting where you started, I use the Simon Sinek start with why model. Why are we doing this in the first place? What's that driving force for you? Then you go out to the how. That might be your secret sauce. It's everybody's got a process. And then the what. The problem I find, everybody starts with the what. That's what I started in my opening comments. You're talking to somebody, what do you do? I'm a lawyer. Let me ask that question again. What do you do?
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
trying to pull that out. And I like what you said about helping to inform people, because that's the kind of the thing they need to know right now.
Right.
Let me inform you why you're out of compliance. Let me educate you why that's important in the first place. Because lots of people, I think, probably look at it like, oh, is this a formality the town has? And you're like, it's a formality the town has until your home catches fire. Then it's not a formality the town has. Right. It's like real important. Let me educate you. That I think helps to sharpen people to understand. Or this thing you're doing, protects your neighbors. So I think that often helps people to think about that.
And so, Mitch, with the brand story of, helping people out in either emergencies or at different parts of their homeownership, journey, because everybody's homeownership journey is a little different, even though it's pretty set steps for everybody, right? Everybody has their own little catastrophes that happen. Yeah. What do you find the hardest struggle of educating people is? Do you find that a lot of people come to you with emergencies and just have that emergency mentality, like, I just need to fix, I don't want to know anything, just fix this? Or are you getting people that really want to understand what it is that you're doing and really how it's going to impact the whole process for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I find people are in different places, and so not every conversation is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Some people are very hands-off. Tell me what it costs. You guys sound like you know what you're doing. I'll write the check and just figure it out. I don't even want to think about it.
Are those referrals generally, do you find?
Yeah, so fortunately right now we're in a place where all of our business is coming in from word-of-mouth referrals, or people are just finding us on Google as they're searching for this kind of service provider, because we're not the only company that does what we do, but we have a great presence, we have good reviews, and we answer the phone when people call, and we're available. Availability is a top priority for us. But do you
find that people come to you more, as you just said, through a Google search? Because what you're doing is really a B2C type business, right? It's a consumer business.
Correct.
Do you find that people are doing a search like, help me with this process? And you're in a specific location. You're not nationwide yet.
Correct.
But, this is a specific location.
Yeah.
So do you find that people are saying, oh, help me find, somebody to help me with a business permit or with a building permit?
Yeah. Typically people will be coming from like a violation situation, or they called a contractor and said they want to build on their house. And it's like, listen, you got to start with the person who's going to fix this. You got to talk to an expediter, because it's a known type of industry. Right. If you're in those circles. Some people have never heard of an expediter because they've never come across these types of issues.
I'd say most new homeowners have absolutely no idea what an expediter is. They're leaning on their lawyer, they're leaning on
their agent.
Yes. Or if it's a new building, they're leaning on the contractor to tell them. So on that front, or do you find that more people are Googling, or are more people getting that referral?
I'd say most people are getting the referral directly to us. Either, hey, here's their number, call their office, or even Facebook has been a really great place for us. If you're in any of the local, moms and dads groups, people ask questions on there. They're shopping basically for services, so we get a lot of referrals that way as well.
So the thing that is interesting about referrals to me is, and we do branding and we talk about this all the time. We're like, the most powerful kind of marketing is word of mouth. That's what everyone says, right? The challenge is what you tell the contractor is really substantially different from what you're going to tell your actual direct customer. Right. The direct customer needs to hear what you can do, your years of experience, things like that. And I'll let you go into that more. But what do you tell the contractor to give them the confidence and to have them be able to tell your story? Because that's always the challenge. I can tell my story, but can you tell my story?
Right.
If I can rephrase that question.
Right. Yeah.
How do you ensure that your referral partners are representing your brand the way you want them to?
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a good question. I can probably put more attention towards helping and educating them. So I'm learning here too. This is great. I got some homework. Yeah. But it's usually based off of their initial experience working with me and our team. And I've had a lot of opportunities where either I've been somewhere speaking, be it at our local chamber of commerce or at a civic association, and there happen to be people in the real estate space that see, oh wow, this, Mitch is providing some really good information. He has an office. Like, there's credibility built into our company because we have a team, we have a physical location, we have a good presence on social media and on Google. And so when we do get that chance, the agent or the broker gets to see how diligent our team is on fulfilling these projects and researching, to where when people call me, they say, oh, so-and-so gave me your info and they said you're the best, or you're going to get this done, or whatever it might be.
You're the guy.
The guy, right? And I'm so humbled and I'm so blessed by that we have such a good reputation for being the people who are going to be thorough too, because there are people who will not refer me because I'm too thorough. And that's just a reality. I'm going to expose anything that's hidden.
Right.
When you get a referral and the person tells you who referred you, does that change how you interact with that customer based on who referred you? Like, does that tell you maybe like, Joe referred her, so he must have told her A, B, and C?
Sometimes. And that's usually when we are facing a real estate transaction, because I don't want to be the person in the midst of that transaction that could cause things to go awry. Yeah. Like if a listing agent is trusting me with their client, I want to continually build their relationship with each other. So I'm always going to emphasize, hey, you know what? That's a great question. I might be able to try to come up with an answer for you, but you would be better off having that conversation with your real estate agent or your attorney. So I'm going to respect where that referral came from and defer back to them to make sure that relationship stays solid as well.
So if you don't mind, what I'm hearing from you, and just a small recommendation, I often talk to clients and say, so think about who your stakeholders are. And there's more than one. People always say, people always get this wrong. Either you say, who do you serve? And they say, everybody. And you're like, not really. And when you narrow it down, then they forget people. Like, oh, I serve homeowners and people are going to be homeowners. And you're like, well, but what about the referral partners? Oh yeah, them too. So I like to say, think about, there are always at least 4, and so for some groups there's more, but think about, who you serve. And when you know what your core message is, what we do, then just take a moment and write a smaller message for each of those people. So here's my message for those direct homeowners, why we're the right choice. Here's my message for partners. And in partners, I'm using broadly to be all those people who refer to you, and let them know that you have something, including what you've just said. Employees may be another stakeholder group, right? And it could be other non-partner referral partners. Like if you belong to a BNI group, or if you belong locally here to Huga, and you're a member of a networking group, so that you have a story for them.
Yeah.
Each of those people carries a story. And I've told this to some people. They're like, wait, are you telling me to change the story? No, I'm telling you to add a facet to it.
Refine the story.
Refine the story. Think of it like a diamond.
Based on
There's
who's
different
listening.
factors, and for whoever's
Absolutely.
listening. Exactly. One of my favorite groups is Sandler Training, and they often talk about WIIFM. It's the radio station playing in the back of everyone's head. It's what's in it for me, and thinking about that message with the what's in it for me. The reason that I say that is if you can kind of drill down on for each of those like 4 that we just said, and then what you just started to say, you were talking about questions. Do an FAQ, but do different FAQs for each group.
Yeah.
Here's a commonly asked questions of my partners, commonly asked questions of new homeowners. It's amazing.
Yeah.
People will
They will feel listened to.
yeah, they'll feel listened to. Exactly right.
So if I'll just jump in on that, because I have, in a few presentations, I've thought through that process of what's my story for each of these people. And for homeowners, the way we help primarily is save time,
Right.
save money, and avoid headaches.
Right.
Right. Good
Right.
benefits.
Something that, right. So
Right.
we want to share, that's the value you're getting, because people ask me all the time, well, why can I just do this myself? Yes, you can do it yourself if you have the time to make mistakes. Not saying you're going to make mistakes, but it's hard.
Right.
The fact that we exist as a company and we're not the only ones doing this shows that this process is not as easy as it looks like on the
Right.
paper.
And it doesn't
So-
look that easy on paper
doesn't
either.
look-
So that's that it's a
Exactly.
process,
Exactly.
and there's steps involved.
Right. And so for our real estate professionals, our story to them is I want to educate them so they can shine in the real estate space by being knowledgeable about what goes on with houses and be able to inform their clients, hey, just so you know, we're not going to wait until the title report shows up after you've already fell in love with the house, made an offer, gone into contract, and then the title report shows up and it's like, oh, I'm thinking I'm getting keys to a house and I find out that half of it's not legal.
Right.
No, let's deal with that 3 months ago when I first went to look at this place. And either we prepare for it emotionally and financially, or we walk and find a better deal.
Right.
Right. I want to help agents be stars.
Right.
And not
Avoid the money pits.
right the money, because if that title report comes down and it's a surprise for everybody that part of this house is illegal, nobody looks like a star.
No.
Yeah.
It's
And-
the worst experience, and you're never going to get another phone call from their family or friends.
Yeah. The absolute worst part of home buying is any surprise at all.
Yeah.
Like that's no one wants any
Yeah,
surprise. So sometimes
it's
even
very
good ones.
rare that there's a good surprise.
Yeah.
Like, oh look, I opened a cabinet and there was money in there.
Yeah.
That's not the surprise that
It's
any
more
of us
like,
have.
yeah, it's more like, oh look, I opened a cabinet and there is something I don't want in there.
There's something
Yeah.
growing in there, and
Yeah.
it doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
That's
Looks like
that's
it's been there
often
for
the
10
challenge.
years.
Man. And then, our story for contractors is just, hey, that includes contractors, engineers, architects. Focus on what you do best while we handle the paperwork.
So over time, how's your mission evolved, and how has your brand kind of reflected that evolution?
It has been refined. I think when I started the company, and we're getting into story time here. When I started the company, I chose the name very intentionally. And funny story about it. So the company is Integrity Expediting. I go to the county to get my business license to start with Suffolk County, and the person behind the counter asked me, they're like, there's about 12 pages of companies that start with the word integrity. Are you sure you want that name?
Yeah.
Well, I said, is there an Integrity Expediting? Nope. I said, I want it. So I got that name. But the reason why is because of the horror stories that I heard before I even started my business. As I was looking into this industry as a way to develop a company that I could grow and scale and hire people and provide jobs and provide excellent service by implementing technology and other resources, I heard stories like, oh, I hired an expediter once. They took a bunch of money and then they don't answer the phone. Oh, I hired an expediter once, but it takes them 3 months to get back to me. I hired an expediter and I call their office and nobody picks up. I hired an expediter, they told me that they submitted everything, and then I called the town to find out that they didn't. So before I even started my company, I'm hearing these horror stories, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do things different. We're going to pick a name that reflects my core values and who I really want to be as an individual. And what's going to be a priority for us is communication, transparency, and I'm going to communicate with you more than you even want me to. We email our clients like crazy. Every single time we make a move, every single penny that comes through our office, I'm going against all of those objections that people have had in this industry, the negative experiences. I want to counteract that. I want to change the name and the feeling when somebody hears Expediter. Oh, I had a bad experience. Right. No, come have a good experience. I want to provide a great experience for people.
That's great. I mean, that's kind of our next question is, what's the experience that you want to leave people with? And it's that,
there you go.
It's that difference. It's something that's different. So often people want to be, they just want to be better, faster, greater thing, whatever, we're lawyers, but we're the better, faster, whatever lawyer. And the reality is you want to be different.
Right.
Yep.
You didn't name yourself Faster, Expediting.
No, right.
Exactly.
For a reason.
Which is the other, Asaf is absolutely correct, because that's the other thing, right? Quick expediting.
Yeah.
Okay, expediting kind of means quick.
Right.
So it's quick, and
right.
and that's the, that's the challenge.
Right.
People want to know.
Yeah.
What I've experienced, people want to know what's going on. And when we're talking about these projects, it's not just a couple $100.
No.
It's rarely a few $100s for people where they can kind of write it off as like, all right, whatever. We're talking thousands, if not 10,000 plus, that people are spending, not just on us. It's all the third-party vendors. And then you find out you don't have a foundation underneath that thing that was built on the back of your house. And now you get a contractor in and you got to fix things. So people are making major financial investments and sometimes into a house that they just bought. So they're already tapped out financially.
And it is the largest asset that they're ever going to own.
So I'm super aware of the sensitivities that surround these types of situations. One day you're enjoying dinner with your family, and the next day you come home from work and there's a ticket on your front door, and you're getting a letter and you have to go to court and you're paying fines, and your whole life upends because now you're committed and stuck with thousands of dollars worth of issues that it's paperwork, but you have to spend the money. And so it's so important to me that people sense security and safety and clarity, and they know what's going to happen because they already got a big surprise of their life. So I want to tamper that down and make it as painless as possible. I can't make it a free thing, but I could take away some of the pain by helping them see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We're going to be back in just a moment. Hey there, if you're like most business owners or founders, you may find that after time, your brand has undergone some type of change. Maybe you've launched a new product, a new service, or a new location, or perhaps you've acquired some new talent or capability.
And now your team is struggling to communicate what makes your brand different and what sets you apart as the right choice.
And that's why Asaf and I have launched the Brand Building Bootcamp. It's a focused workshop where we reimagine, refresh, rebuild, and relaunch your entire brand.
We're essentially helping you become a category of one.
The Brand Building Bootcamp gives you a refreshed brand storybook, visual identity, magnetic website, and the tools for connecting your content with your audiences to increase your bottom line.
Arthur, don't forget, we're delivering all this in 30 days or less.
Yeah, no pressure.
Well, we're limiting the bootcamp to only a few clients each month. So if you're interested, let us know.
Yeah, if this sounds interesting, you can learn more at thebrandbuildingbootcamp.com and schedule a no-obligation brand chat with me and Asaf.
And now, let's get back to our podcast.
And so we're back with Mitch Brendle, who is the founder and president of Integrity Expediting. And Mitch was just talking about the experience that he wants to leave customers with, but also the experience that you want to leave the partners with, because we started talking about that, and maybe Asaf, maybe we can talk about that kind of overall experience a little bit.
So with your brand experience rooted in trust, rooted in transparency, and rooted in, almost hand-holding your customers through an extremely difficult time. That seems like a very good foundation for a brand. Do you see your brand evolving over the next 10, 15 years to something different as you grow, get more employees, more partners, and more customers? How do you find yourself maintaining that?
So our mission, vision has evolved. I think, like I was saying, it's been refined. And I think where we go from that is being able to provide more education and even other services that may complement this process and make this process less of a burden and solidify, because there's a lot of systems out there that are still antiquated and people are having to spend money on things that have already been done, whether it's ordering another survey, even though somebody did one, but we can't figure out who it was. And so we have to just order it again. And
title searches.
So there's pieces that touch our business that are outside of this that we rely on, that I think we can help improve and in the end offer even better final product and service to our clients. We're always improving. So I have a weekly team meeting. We just had ours today, and we were talking specifically about, okay, we're doing pretty good with certain things, but we need to do better. And how do we make it even better? I always have been talking about that. That's our part of our culture is how do we just do better and put ourselves in our clients' shoes and look at the experience that they're going through with us. Yes, the town stuff, it's hard no matter what. I can't change that. But how do I get myself in their shoes and provide for them the service I would want somebody to provide for me?
Well, speaking about change, if there was one thing you could change about the perception of your brand that your customers have, what do you think that would be?
I talk to our clients about what we do, and I could ramble about the 500 tasks that we have to fulfill for every basic project,
right.
The software that we're implementing in order to keep track of all of the delegated processes that we fulfill, because I think the picture is you fill out some paperwork, you stand in line, and I get a permit.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that there is that perception. For some, for a very, I'm renewing a house rental license. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Right. If it's already been there, the house is legal, there's no issues. Right. I could drop some paperwork off, pay my fee, and it's over, right? We offer that service, but it's a very, very minor charge of what we offer. I need to cover 2 hours of having somebody go to the town and come back. That's easy. Right. But that's like 1% of the projects that we work on. We have currently active over 170 building permit projects, and their average lifespan of back and forth communication between the town, the architect, the surveyor, the contractor is about 9 months.
Wow.
To get this permit finally issued so they can fix the problems they're dealing with. So
people will literally have a baby while they're waiting to move into their new home.
They have, and we've seen. I love it. We've grown up with some of our clients' families, and their projects have gone on even longer than that. But we're always talking. How old are your kids now? Yep, I too. And so the growth and the lifespan. So sometimes I do let clients in and show them, look, just so you know, this is way more than just running paper. So it's the value, I guess. It's the value of, number one, what the process really entails, but then also I am looking to offer a premium service.
Right.
So you might not get the cheapest proposal from me because I don't do cheap work.
Right.
I don't do inexpensive work. I think we're market value. Mm-hmm. We're in the market, but we are offering or attempting to offer a premium service to our clients because I'm paying extra money to make sure we have people in the office to answer the phone.
Right.
And I'm paying extra money to make sure we have the software to keep track of all the projects. So we're investing more into the company to have a way better final product to where somebody can go through an absolute nightmare of a process that costs them over $10,000 and leave us a 5-star review on Google saying, wow, these guys made it amazing. Thank you so much.
And that's often my argument about not focusing on ROI in your marketing, but focusing on profitability in your brand. The better, stronger, and more well-known and understood your brand is, the greater your ability to charge a premium price for it. And I say that without, I'm not ashamed of saying that, right? You have a premium brand and you've built up that brand presence for your customers. You're able to charge more for it. But part of that charging more is, that you're also using that to, you're investing in your brand.
So, Mitch, given all the customers you've had and all the leads that are pending, what would you say is the spiciest client story you have?
Spicy client stories. Oh, man. So are we talking good spicy, bad spicy? What kind of spicy?
We're not talking heartburn spicy
Yeah, not
or
heartburn.
atomic wing
All right.
spicy.
Yeah.
This is more like, a little jalapeno with the cheddar spicy.
Okay, so palatable. So I two stories come to my mind, and one is an unfortunate story of the nightmares that can come up when dealing with these processes. That's the heartburn story. I don't even want to go there. Let's talk about a win.
Yeah,
so we have a lot of wins, but this one ended up being a major win for the client. So putting the house is on the market, they're looking to sell, has an open expired permit for some improvement. Buyer comes to the table, wants $25,000 credit on the price of the house. Now this is pre-COVID, so this is like they were coming with a reasonable negotiation, and things were not flying off the shelf like they did. And so it wasn't just like, oh, okay, fine, take it, we're moving.
Right.
It was a legitimate. It would have set this homeowner up for failure to be able to move on to their next place, to lose that much money. And they came to us, and we looked over the situation. I said, look, I think we're going to get out of this for about $6,000. 3 months later, final inspection, CO issued. I think they ended up spending about $5,800,
Mm-hmm.
and
nice.
they closed on the house. No money in escrow, no credit, no discount.
There you go.
So for me, I'm like, I always remember that one, not because it's the most recent win. Obviously, this was years ago,
Right.
but it sticks out so much to me because of what it really represented for this homeowner. And those things happen so frequently now. When that happened, I think we were a team of two, and I was working from home, and I was really involved in the whole entire process. So I was seeing it
Right.
so closely, and I was in this person's house many, many times. And
Expediter streaming.
right,
it
so
was.
I think we had probably maybe 15 to 20 active projects at that moment, right? And so I got to see the whole. I see every project right now, but our team has been trained, and they're handling so many things. And one of the most exciting things happened to me recently, where clients, this has happened a couple times, they have mistaken one of our team members as being the owner of the company and thought I was one of the employees. Yep. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Oh no, I don't need to talk to you. I got to talk to this one. Cool. I'll transfer you right now.
Yep.
Like for me, that was such a win personally too, because that's what I want to do with my
Absolutely.
company. I really believe in investing in people, giving people a chance, helping people develop personally and professionally. And like for this company, I started it with that intention of how can I grow, multiply, give jobs to people, help them grow and develop professionally, and then be like a stepping stone for them so they can move on to the next chapter of their life. Yeah. We have 2 drafters on our team right now, and although I'm not a licensed architect, they, in order to get their license, will have to move on to a different position at an architectural firm to apprentice underneath an architect to get their license. I told them that from the very beginning when I hired them. I says, look, you know, and I know what I can offer you and what I can't offer you. But I want to give you everything I possibly can to make this an amazing workplace for you, to help you gain experience in the field. So that way, when you leave this place and you show up to an architectural firm, you're going to be gold. They're looking at a premium team member, a premium employee, because you've been so invested in. And I don't say that to I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back or say that in an arrogant way, but I just, like I said, we had our team meeting today, so I've been pouring out my heart to them all day. Like, guys, I want you to do well, and I want you to be a great team and grow and go further than I ever have in my life and just excel.
Yeah, I think Asaf and I both believe in mentorship, and I think we
Absolutely.
heard that as you talked about your promise and what you do, that inform and educate. And that's why I say, when you're writing the sub messages for your stakeholders, absolutely that should be in part of your employee sub messages.
Absolutely.
Is that how we build employees? Even saying, I know you may not stay with me forever, and I want that next person that you go to, the next place you go to have the best employee possible.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
I'd say, this is one line on your resume you'll never take off.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So, Mitch, tell our audience where they can find more information about Integrity Expediting.
Absolutely. So you can type us in on Google, Integrity Expediting, and all our pages will show up. Our tag, at Integrity Expediting, all one word, no spaces, no dots, no underscores. We're on all the social media platforms. We're constantly putting out content a couple times a week. Sometimes it's a simple graphic. Sometimes it's an educational video. Our website's up there. Got some an interview with the Chamber of Commerce on there. You'll find us.
Yeah,
Type
excellent.
up Integrity Expediting, and we are there. Our office is in Center Reach, right on Middle Country Road, 2100 Middle Country Road. And
well, we'll definitely want to have you back, when we're talking about how you franchised Integrity Expediting to be out to California and to be, across the country.
yeah, we do want to expand our territories. So we're looking into and actively studying and researching ways that we can service more areas. And just a quick plug on that. So currently, as of September 2024, we are servicing the towns of Brookhaven and the town of Islip. And ideally, where we go from here is eventually have Integrity Expediting Suffolk East, Suffolk Central, Suffolk West. I want to be able to service all the townships, but we've refined our process in these towns so we can offer really have a perfected system in place.
For anyone listening off of Long Island, Mitch is talking about counties here on Long Island, but there's no reason that this can't extend beyond the current counties, beyond the current state.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Mitch, we really want to thank you for coming on. You've been an excellent guest. This has been a great conversation.
Yeah, really terrific conversation, and really into something that's on one hand common, everyone understands, and uncommon, nobody understands like you. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you guys
We really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So this has been the Brandtelling Podcast. This is Arthur Germain.
And this is Asaf Bochman, the brand chef.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Have a good one.
That was great practice. Are we going to record now?
Thank you for joining us for the Brandtelling Podcast. If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on the podcast, please send us an email at podcast@brandtelling.com.